Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to beautiful Tahiti County, Iowa. Today, we are going to an auction. It's a retirement auction, a little bit closer to home than I thought it'd be, but um, I guess, yeah. So the neighbor that I worked for a couple of years back, or a year back, 2 years back, whatever it was, he is retiring now. He has been slowing down the last couple of years. As you guys know, I worked for him for a couple of years, and then he decided to retire this year. So he's selling all of his equipment right now, uh, and yeah. So we're going to that auction. They're also it's an auction where you can rent out some of the ground too. Um, So I'll kind of drive past a couple of the fields that they have left. They basically own everything on the road up there by his house. And then there's one field kind of down um, by the pond that's right behind my field over here. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and head up there. I got my F-350 out here that I bought from him actually. Now that I think about it, and we're gonna head up there. I'll show you the equipment. I believe the yard is up for rent too. I won't be bidding on the yard, unfortunately, but I will be going. I will be trying to bid at least on the piece that's back here. But the other pieces are rather large fields, as you guys will see. And yeah, so with that, let's go ahead and drive up there. I'll see you guys there. Alrighty, guys. So, as you guys remember, here's the yard up here with his bin site. Here is an oat field. I guess he planted oats this year. I don't know. Or maybe they're just really, really early soybeans because it's July. Or they killed. I don't know. It's probably oats or something. I don't know. Can't really tell from the road. But yeah, so that field's up for rent. But I think to rent that field, you have to rent the yard. So that's just included in that. So this field's up for rent right here. This one kind of goes back all the way into the trees. I might bid on this one, but I think it's going to go way too high for me to even think about. We're going to go ahead and head down here. Here is a separate track, so you'll take this driveway and the field. This little field right here is connected with this field on the other side of the creek, or it's the same track, so you'd rent that field, this field, and then actually the one up over the hill here too. This field's for rent too. Obviously the houses aren't for rent, they'll still be living there, but the yard on that one, yeah, we'll go back there here in a second. But here is this other field that's part of that bigger track there. And then I'll drive down to the other field. Oopsies. Pay attention while I'm driving. Sorry, guys. So the other field is just down the way here a little bit. I go railroad crossing. So it's right up here. This little drive right here. So it's this field right here. I believe there's even a shed back here in these trees, but I'm not going to drive all the way back there right now. But yeah, there's this field kind of goes all the way back into the trees there too. But yeah, let's go ahead. Get back. Stop by the neighbor's house. Whoops. And we'll say hi to him quick. And talk to him and his wife for a little bit before the auction start. The auction starts at noon today, because they sold a lot of their equipment. May I remind you, before this, because Remember, they used to have cattle and they used to have a dairy set up too, a small dairy, but they had a dairy set up. Um, and so they don't have as much equipment anymore. They used to have 2 combines too, and they got rid of. Whoops, slippery bump there. What else did they? They used to have like low loader or whatever you, flatbed trucks and flatbed trailers is what I meant. So stop in here. Probably going way too fast to be going down gravel road. But maybe they're not even home right now. That would be ironic. Go ahead and shut the truck off. So I'm gonna run in here, say hi to them quick, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so I just got out of the house there. I had a nice little breakfast with them actually. Didn't know they were having breakfast. Probably should have called them first. But anyways, so I was gonna show you guys this shed. I don't know if I ever actually came in this shed with you guys before, or I guess it's their dairy setup. Or one of them, I guess both the brothers had dairy setups, but this one was their biggest one of the two. The other one's smaller, but it was mainly they just use it as like their dry cow area. But yeah, so this is the inside. This is where the cows would be fed at, and would probably sleep most of the time. And this is the milk storage area. I assume the milking area was over here then, or no? This is outside. I know he said he hadn't milked in here in a long time, but they like lock him in the things. I see the tubes, so maybe they locked him in here, and then they'd feed him, and then they'd come behind and milk him. Anyways, yeah, so that's their little barn here. And it's got a big pasture back here and a manure storage pit right here. Yeah, so big pasture right there. So, yeah, I'll walk up and I'll show you guys the equipment that they have for sale then. Alright, so here's the equipment they have for sale. Oops. We have their Hagee, with their 132-foot boom. It's pretty clean. I think he just got this like 3 years ago. So maybe a couple thousand acres on it most. This Kinze, I know he only got like 4 or 5 years ago. It's got a scale on one of these sides, I know. Is it a 1,500 bushel? I can't quite remember. 1,300 bushel, whatever it is. Semi, I know it's a semi and about another half, so yeah. Then you got his honeybee, 40-foot head, flex draper style setup, but honeybee is one of the nicer ones. They contours to the ground a lot better than most, so yeah. Then we got a 16-row folding Capello corn head. And I think this is only, I was gonna say I think it's only a couple, but I think it might be 7 or 8 years old now. This honeybee's about 10 years old maybe. But yeah. Then they have a 9250. I know this is 4 years old, 3 years old. It was brand new the first year that I used it. So that I was helping him. So 3-4 years ago now. Maybe 5. I don't know. Anyways, Then you have his 2 international trucks. I would really love to buy one of these trucks today in one of these trailers, but I think one of these trailers were. I think these trailers are going to go for too much because these are brand new. You guys remember he used to have like the decaled out Eggco trailers. He had 2 of them, and yeah, these are like a year old. So yeah. Then we got one of the trailers for flatbed trailers for 5th wheel plate. And or for pickups with a 5th wheel plate, and yeah, it's a flatbed. Then we got their Mendeco roller. I would really like to buy this, but I don't think I have a tractor big enough to haul it. And or to pull it. Especially up my hill by my house there. That's yeah. So yeah. Anyways, we got their white planter that must have rolled down the hill a little bit in the wind that we had last night. 24 row. This thing will go 13 mile an hour through the field if you want it to, but yeah. So, maybe I should help them out before the auction starts and we'll move that a little bit. But yeah, then we got the Case Tigermate here. I loved this thing. It was probably one of my favorite pieces of machinery. Looks like they just replaced the sweeps last year. Then we got their Degelman ProTill 40 foot, or not 40 foot. I don't know if it actually is 40 foot. Probably not. Obviously not. Never mind. It's definitely not 40 foot. I'm insane. But yeah, this thing is awesome. You can go. Well, the tractor that we had it on was like 12 mile an hour. Actually, it was on the John Deere right there. And yeah. And then we had their shovel plow. Basically, the thing has a cultivator, just has tines that are a little bit deeper, a little bit bigger to actually plow the ground. So, we got the John Deere 2410. And yeah. This is new to him, just a couple years ago, but it's a John Deere 9630. I think he only had it for 4 years, maybe 5 at most. And then we got 2 John Deere John Deere. I am so sorry, Case. We got 2 Case Rowtrack 500s. They're the biggest Rowtrack that Case makes. One is widespread. That's the one that was on the planer. The other one's a little bit more of a narrow stance. So yeah. And then this is my grandpa's old 4020 that he actually bought on auction about 4 years ago. The same auction, actually, now that I think about it, that he bought the 9630 on. But yeah, looks like he's cleaned it up a bunch, done a bunch of repainting too, so that's nice. But yeah. So if you guys don't remember, I'll give you a little bit of backstory here. This is the neighbor that I used to work for. Yeah, so I used to help him out. He has this field. He used to own the fields across the road from me, but I just bought those from him a year or 2 ago. And then he even owned the 2 little fields, as I call them, on the backside. Now that I think about it, I should look at the bill of sale, because I think there's another track right down the road from my other stuff that are right down the road from my small fields that's for sale too, or not for, well, actually no, those might be for sale. Maybe I need to go talk to them again, see if they'll sell me those. Anyways, but yeah, so this is the neighbor's bin site. And yeah, I think he said could hold around 8 million bushels. I could be wrong because I think these two each hold 1.5. Or maybe 2, and then each of these hold 1.5. Which then would be 10 if I did the math right. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. Yeah, so 10.5. Yeah, we'll go with that. I could be completely wrong, but yeah. So then he has this little walk-in shed, basically. I call it the walk-in shed. He used to have manure equipment when he had cattle. This would be where he parked it, so it'd at least get out of the weather. And, but not stink up the rest of his shop and shed. So, we'll wander in here. I don't think he'll be too mad. He's still got some tools in here yet, but... Oh, he's even got an herbicide tank yet, but... And some twine, even. Sorry he doesn't sell that today. But yeah, so here's his cold storage shed side. And then this was the shop side. You could easily go over here and work. There used to be a door here, but... I can't remember when... Something happened, like I think one of the springs broke, so you know how garage doors, they have the big old springs on them? One of the springs broke, and it was going to cost more to get a new spring and put a new door on. He's like, you know what, I don't even care that much. I am perfectly fine with, sorry about that. I am perfectly fine not replacing the door, so, yeah. But yeah, well, with that, I think, yeah, he's got a liquid tank here, diesel tank here. This is his well, actually comes straight up into here. Oh, and he's still got his GPS receiver out here. I'm surprised he doesn't sell that today, too. But his well just comes straight up into here, and that's what he uses during spraying. He'll just back the trailer near that, and kind of helps as an extra buffer between the sprayer and everything like that, so you don't take too much water. Then he's got a couple old Meridian bins here. I don't think he said he'd use these in like the last 10 years, so yeah. Yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and like I said, I don't know if I will be buying anything at the auction today. I would really like one of those trucks, but I'm mainly trying to go for one of the pieces of land, and oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. There's that one piece that's for sale, but my other pieces that I'll show you here in a second. So, or well, I'll show you after the auction probably. If it is for sale, I'll try and buy it from quick before the sale. So, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Alrighty guys, so auction got over a little over an hour ago. I did get one piece of ground rent, and I did buy a piece of ground too. So you guys will be able to see that today. We're gonna go ahead and head over. Actually, I already showed you guys the one, but I'm gonna head over to the other one. It's just over, or well, I'm gonna head over to the first one, then I'll show you the other one that I bought. The first one that I rented is actually the one that I showed you that's way over here. It's the one that kind of goes back in the trees. I'm gonna rent that. I'm not gonna buy it or anything. I'm just gonna rent it. I told him I just wanted the lease that we won the auction on is a 3-year lease, and I honestly would be perfectly fine with that. I have to come up with the money to buy the north chunk of that ground from the guy that used to farm with my grandpa, that we're renting right now too. So, went over those railroad tracks way too fast. But yeah, so here is the farm that I was talking about. I'm renting this next year, but here's the shed, and I didn't know there was a bin back here. but there is, I guess. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to look in this shed. I'll be back in 1 second. Give me a minute. I want to kind of crawl in this bin. I think this bin is 20 years old. And I just want to crawl inside to see if the floor is any good, or if we're just gonna stare at it for the 3 years that we rent it, because we can't do anything with it. Alrighty, guys. So I crawled up in the bin there, and I just wanted, or crawled in the bin and crawled on the top. We could use it. I mean, it's not that. It doesn't look that bad. But I mean, it's only gonna hold like 1,000 bushels or so. So I mean. Oops, again. If worse comes to worse, we can use it, you know. It can be last resort. But here's the shed. It looks identical to the one that we are renting down by, or that we bought from the guy that used to farm with my grandpa. Yeah, I think it's literally the same shed. Must have been a very common and liked design at the time. But I wanted to show you guys this little, like, they built a shed here instead of a house. Although maybe as flat as this was, I bet you there was a house here at some point. And yeah, so I bet you. I mean, look at how pretty that would look during the winter or during the fall when all the trees are changing. Oh my god. Sorry. But yeah, now we'll go ahead and head down to my other 2 fields, and I'll show you the new spot. Yeah. The new field that we bought down there. So we'll go ahead and head down there. Alrighty, guys. So you can kind of see that little green patch back there. That's our small field, or my smallest field. Back here, across the river from my main stuff. Here is one of the grass fields that we bought. The neighbor actually rented these out to the dairy. They usually cut hay and sometimes haylage took haylage off of it. But yeah, look at it. I mean, this is a big field. But right back over here is the next track, which is right next to our other field. There's just a random tree in the middle of the field too. And here's the railroad crossing. Just pop over it really, really slow. Bunk, bunk. I would not recommend doing this with your truck. Alright, so here is the other track that I bought. It's not a ginormous track, but pretty decent sized. We got this field. It looks kind of gets split by a pretty good washout, gully, waterway, whatever you want to call it. But next year it's going to be my to operate. I'll definitely be combining those fields, or these 2. So, you know what? I'll get the drone. I think I have the drone in the back end of the truck here. I'll go ahead and jump in the drone and I'll show you guys. Alright, so as you guys can see, here is the 3 fields we bought here, and then back there is the grass fields. And this is my current cornfield, the odd-shaped one, as I love to call it. But so we have these 2. Like I said, I think I'm going to combine those, and then these 2. So this big washout or waterway is what I was talking about. It splits those 2 fields. But yeah, so that's the new ground that we'll be picking up next year. The hay fields we can actually cut, because it is mid-July. We can actually cut this hay if we wanted to. I don't know if I will this year. Probably next year, but or definitely next year, but this year probably not. I might even try to farm it next year. excuse me, so we can get a little bit more crop ground, because crops make a little bit more than hay. But yeah, so I'll head back over to my truck now. And there's a beautiful Tahitian county, or Tahitian, Iowa, right there, as you can see in the distance. And I'll head back to my yard and I'll show you guys what I bought. All right, guys. So I got back to the house here. Didn't buy the trucks that I was talking about, but I did buy one piece of equipment on the sale, like I said, and that was my grandpa's 4020. I mainly bought it just because I wanted a tractor for the auger during the fall, because I'm pretty sure we're going to be selling the 4760 on this year's retirement sale, or the consignment sale, not retirement sale, obviously. But yeah, which I'm really sad to be selling this, but she's just showing her age, and I've now had it for 7 years, so yeah. And well, my grandpa actually had it for 10 years before I bought it from him, so. No, he actually had it for more than that, because he would have had it for 17 years, because he bought it in the year 2000. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the update there. Next episode, we're gonna be cutting hay. Excuse me. And making bales. As usual, we'll be cutting right behind the house here, and then that stuff over there. We might do the small field that we just bought, but we'll see. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, do me a huge favor, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.